right. Hello, everyone. My name is Teranie Tirado, your local realtor, and welcome to Empowerment Live. Today, my special guest is Maureen Brown. Welcome, Maureen. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. I'm so excited about being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us and sharing your story as a woman and everything that you do in our community. So, what do you do in our community? Tell us about
I'm also on the North Shore. I just moved here in July. Previously, I was in Linfield. Before that, I was on the South Shore, but I'm an educational consultant. So I serve all of Massachusetts, but I also started expanding into more of a national platform. So I consider my business in three components. One is the bulk of the work that I do is for any families that have children that might have special needs. That could be anything from ADHD to, maybe severe autism, genetic disorders. And they're feeling confused around the educational process as it relates to an individualized education plan. It's a pretty steep learning curve. And so I can help families with that in regards to like, this is what you're entitled to. This is what the law says. And I attend meetings. Since the pandemic, it's been pretty much on Zoom, which has been really helpful for me, given the fact that I was driving all over.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really, like, almost similar to what we were talking about, back to back and trying to serve a lot of families and people. So now I'm able to take on even more clients. That's one aspect of my business. The other piece was, because I've been doing this for so long, some of my clients were transitioning into college and they were saying like, well, what am I entitled to in college? What supports and services? My child's disability doesn't just go away. So I was able to get some additional certifications, and I was certified as a college counselor. And what that allowed me to do was expand my practice to help students when they're applying to college. Like, is this a good fit for me? Like for kids on the autism spectrum, or like, what am I entitled to for supports and services? So that's like another component of my business. And the last one is as a therapeutic consultant. And that is for those students that are not doing well in the public school setting. They might have school avoidance issues. They might be extremely depressed, suicidal. And so I help those families find a place for their students to not only get schooling, but also therapeutic supports. So that might be in Massachusetts, but that might be in Utah. I go throughout the country and I view programs. If you can imagine, like sending your kid away, like across the country on the West Coast, I think it's helpful if I can say, I've been there. I've met the staff. I toured the program. I petted the horses. Like I know what they provide, and you can feel comfortable and safe sending your child there.
Nice. Very good. And what is the name of your business so that the audience can know?
So, I mean, one
what
of the
is it called again? Sorry.
Ask the Advocate.
Ask the Advocate, you guys.
Yeah. And I consider myself an advocate from, early on professionally. I used to work in the court system as a victim witness advocate and advocating for mostly women that, domestic abuse type situation. I would kind of help them in court, navigating restraining orders, things like that. It's just always been a passion of mine to kind of help, what I would consider the underdog.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful. And those services are needed. It's very, I have relatives that have autism. I know a lot of people that have different disabilities,
Right.
and friends with children with disabilities and things like that. And the points that you bring up are concerns that I know, the people that I know have concerns. They're what you're saying is so true because I've heard it from my friends and the people that I know. That they're concerned, especially when their children with disabilities become adult, what will happen and, what will happen once they're no longer here and things like that.
Exactly.
That's wonderful. How can people get a hold of you?
So I do an initial consultation. So it's just asktheadvocate.org is my website. And it will just bring you right to a time to book. And sometimes I might talk to someone, like I got a call yesterday, and I informed the family that there was an actual protection, that they really didn't need me, and I just kind of guided them to the piece of the law that was a protection for them. And so sometimes it's just weeding out, what do you need? And usually it's just a 15-minute consultation. For some families, I sometimes say to them, like, I think you're good, you don't need me anymore. And they're like, no, I really do need you. And it's like, well, it's been 20 years. You've graduated. So start with my website, book a consult on there, asktheadvocate.org, and then we can kind of see what you need from there.
And it's a free consultation, which
Yes.
is wonderful. That is really wonderful. So as a business owner, as a woman, how do you overcome your own challenges?
Challenges in what way? Like what do you
like, do you ever face challenges as a mom, or in those ways?
I do think that I'm drawn to moms that are struggling with this challenge, because for a lot of consultants that get into this work, obviously they probably started out with their own child that had special needs. And that was definitely the case for me. And the way I overcome a lot of things is I relentlessly research, and I empower. Not only do I empower kind of my own learning curve, but when I learn that information, I kind of take a pause and look behind me and try to share that information with other people that are struggling, and if I can help with that, like maybe minimize the learning curve. It took me a few years to get, the expertise and knowledge to where I felt comfortable being a consultant, but just sharing it along the way as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I find when you do your own research, like as a realtor, I do a lot of research all the time about all kinds of things.
Right.
And so I feel like it's very useful information. And so I end up sharing the research that I do for my clients, online, on social media, make videos about it, questions that come up and things like that. And I feel like that's what you do, like as a business owner. When you come across information that's powerful, you go ahead and share it. And that's wonderful that you do that.
Right. And you're like building a network around each and every client as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of what I say to every single family that I talk to. It's like, we're going to start here, but I'm going to build a team around your child.
Exactly.
Because, that saying of like, it takes a village.
It takes a village.
And that's for all of us, though. Like, you think of being a small business owner, it's like, we need our accountants, we need our, whatever it is. And we also need our own like village.
Yeah. Yeah. It absolutely. I'm a firm believer, like you're not meant to raise children by yourself. Like they should be interacting with other people, and having those experiences, learning about different personalities, and having resources. Everyone has so much that they can pour into a child. Right. And knowing that and being aware of that, I think is really important. So I love that you create that network around the child.
Right.
Yeah. So tell me, let's see, I have a fun question. What would you tell your younger self if you were to meet your younger self, like say back when you were like 18 or something? What would you tell yourself about life? Like any tips that you would?
Yeah. I just think that I wish I could have maybe instilled in that myself more, like just believe in yourself. I think kind of that previous question that you had asked me, sometimes like I grew up with brothers and I don't know why, like they seem confident, why was it that maybe I didn't believe in my own abilities? And just going after like whatever whatever I wanted, just go after it and don't think about, but what if I fail? It's like, so what? You'll do something else, just I wish I could have empowered myself a little bit more. And I'm doing that now in my 50s.
I love it. It's never too late. You're
Exactly.
just getting started,
Yeah, and sometimes like one of the other reasons I probably went into this work is, the traditional way the school system teaches kids, it's not like a one size fits all. And maybe I got discouraged early on with just kind of like trying to figure things out and maybe, having some challenges, but trying to figure it out. I would have just told myself, just keep going. Like you have it in you and you can do it,
Yeah, yeah. I love that so much. That's wonderful. That's great advice. It takes time. Developing oneself really takes time. My mom kind of surprised me the other day because we were talking and she called me like desperately and I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, I just woke up and I just had to tell you, like, I'm so proud of you. And I'm like, what? Like, this is so random. And it felt good as a kid and as a person. Well, I'm not a kid, but as a person to hear that from her. But I was like, why? Like, what made you think that all of a sudden? And she said, well, I've seen the growth. I see like where you started and where you are now. And I see like you were this really shy introvert person, before when you were a teenager and early 20s. And now I'm 36 and it's like a totally different person. And so she can see that and recognizes that growth. But, what I say to her, a lot of it is one, life lessons, like life
Right.
really does the teaching. But also being of the mindset that you can grow and that you can become better and that you can elevate and learn new skills and, just grow. And that is what helped me get to where I am, and I'm not done. I'm just getting started. Like you said,
Right.
you're in your 50s, you're just getting started.
And sometimes it's just like letting go of like, it's not going to be perfect,
Mm-hmm.
But we're not seeking perfection. We're just like seeking, like, continue to take these steps towards your goals.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So speaking about goals, how do you achieve your goals?
I stayed like extremely vigilant to some of my core values, which are just, I got into psychology from an early age with my undergraduate degree and then, pursued a graduate degree and then pursued more education around the college counseling piece. And, I just try to build a network around myself and stay focused. And, I'm a strong believer in giving back and just trying to help as many people as I can. I'm trying to take on another advocate that's, she's a trained attorney, but she's going to help me with maybe some of the people that can't afford the services as much and look at more of a sliding scale to just expand the amount of people that we can help.
Yeah. So that's wonderful. It's like problem solving your own things, that your own challenges or obstacles. It's like you're tackling them and trying to look at it like, okay, what can I do to conquer this goal and how could I get creative with it?
Right, for sure.
So my next question is, why did you decide to start a business?
I was transitioning out of, I was working for the state and they were kind of, it was a political office and they were kind of changing things over. And it was at the time that, I had my own first child that was born premature, which led me into this type of work. And, initially it was around the flexibility, just wanting to work hard, but for a certain amount of hours. So I could essentially be like a stay-at-home mom. Like I have two boys and, they would say to me, like, you work? I was like a full-time mom, but I was also running a business.
I love that. That's awesome.
I could, maybe work 20 to 30 hours a week, but still be like that full-time mom. And I did that for a number of years. So it was around, I think, the flexibility, but also, having unlimited potential. Like that to me was really appealing. Not having someone determine like, well, maybe you'll get a raise. It's like, I want to work really hard, but for myself and for my clients, not for someone else to wait, like when they perceive that I'm going to get a raise.
Yeah. A lot of people feel that way. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah, absolutely. So I can totally understand that. What are your favorite business tools? I have a lot of entrepreneurs that, watch this show. What are some of your favorite tools that you use in your business that you could recommend?
So one of the ones that I connected with a couple of years ago is HoneyBook. So I use it as
Oh,
my.
I love HoneyBook. Yeah. Oh, did we lose you there? Oh no.
So sorry. So I hired like a consultant to kind of help me with it. And so I do these like for some clients, particularly those ones that are looking for more of a long-term placement. I'll just do like an all-inclusive. So it's basically like, here's my contract, here's, and it's like maybe 10 different sheets get sent out automatically. And then I can also just keep track of billing right there. So it's a great client management tool. I got rid of QuickBooks because I was going back and forth trying to, keep track of invoicing and billing. So that's like my number one kind of way to keep track of my clients. And then, for social media, I use someone that posts for me about 5 times a week, but mostly just like the Facebook and whatever. And probably like a lot of small business owners, like looking for those tools that are either free or, not super expensive to do some advertising.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
definitely. Those are some really great ones. I know today I was at the Boston Businesswomen's workshop that they had today.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They were talking about some of the tools. I know Slack is a really great tool as well.
And what is that? What is the Slack?
So Slack is like when you're working in a team and you have different people in your team and you're trying to like do projects together.
Oh, okay.
It works more effectively than like emailing, because it would take like so many emails back and forth and you got to CC everybody, right? But with Slack, the platform is set up where you can create categories. And, if you're working on one project and you assign certain people to that project, then you work on another project, certain people are assigned to that one. And it just keeps everything very organized. And the back and forth is just a lot more organized. And it keeps your inbox clean. So
I like that. That's a great idea. Yeah.
Yeah, Slack is a definitely a really powerful one. I've used it a couple times. Currently, I'm not really using it a lot, but when I do work on projects, that's where I do it. And HoneyBook, I love HoneyBook. It's the aesthetics of it and the pipelines and like
that's what I love too.
Yeah, how you can like set up different systems and drip campaigns and marketing campaigns and all that.
Yeah.
I really love all of that. So I just wanted to put that in there for the people that are business owners that watch this show. What is your favorite quote and why?
So I use this one that just came to my mind that I like literally put in my high school yearbook. It was like, follow your dreams. Let me think. Follow your dreams, take one step at a time, never settle for less, just continue to climb. So it was similar to what we had talked about in terms of don't get discouraged, just continue to, make small increments towards your goals. Maybe some years you're going to have like huge jumps. Maybe some years you're like, oh, I kind of broke even. But just continue to like, keep the focus on the end result, which is like growing your business, feeling like you're helping others, which you're doing as well. Like, oh, you're getting people into their own homes or condos or apartments or whatever. And so it's just at the end of the day, when I go to sleep, I'm like, I feel like I'm making a difference in the world.
Yeah, yeah, that's how I feel about real estate. Like being able to provide someone with a home is like it's like more about it's a home, you know. We can all have a place to live, but I think with being homeowner, what's impactful is the generational wealth that is built
Right,
when
right.
you become a homeowner. And
Yeah.
for me, it's like, oh wow, like I was able to be a part of this seed that I planted, and like, you know, now they're gonna take off and grow their generational wealth, and it's gonna get passed on from generation to generation. It's like a domino effect.
Exactly.
You know, so I feel very good when I go to sleep at night, knowing that I'm helping people, you know, build that foundation.
Right, right.
Absolutely. Are there any projects that you are currently working on that you would like the audience to keep an eye out for?
I think just you know, I had talked a little bit about my all-inclusive contract, and I just feel like it's a way for families to work with me and not feel like, oh God, I don't want to be thinking about the hourly rate. I mean, an all-inclusive contract for me is essentially saying to them, I'm going to work really, really hard so we don't have to kind of get lawyers involved, and I'm going to make every effort to try to get, you know, your kid placed in a program and hopefully the public school to be paying for it, which essentially, you know, my goal is to save families money. And because I've been doing it for so long, you know, my level of expertise is pretty high, and saying, I know you're in crisis. Let's get you to the other side. So that's the new thing that I've started, I would say 6 months ago. It's just, you know, but I also have, you know, if you want to get started or you have like some basic needs, I can do more of an hourly contract starting with like a few hours.
Yeah, that's wonderful that you're helping families with children with disabilities. So you guys, if you know, those that are watching, if you know someone that needs the services, you know, she does a free consultation. Share this video, reach out to Maureen at asktheadvocate.org. And, you know, you could reach out to her. You're on Facebook as well, right?
Yes.
You know, but definitely, you know, plug into these resources and don't be afraid. You know, you got to get out there and you got to meet your needs. You know, you got to go out there and get it. You know.
Absolutely. And this is a great way to go about it. And I really appreciate your time today. I know you're jumping right on another meeting, but I hope we can keep in touch. And thank you again for formatting, you know, having me on today.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Maureen, for coming on. And thank you, everybody, for joining us for today's Empowerment Live. And don't forget that you can catch all of our episodes on my YouTube channel. The link is in the bio, or you can search on YouTube, Teranie Tirado, to catch all the episodes. Have a wonderful day, everybody.